Good morning, everyone. This is your very own Yobo for Christ. God bless you. I have a word for you. Listen to me. Sometimes we Christians, we magnify little things and give the enemy a place and a position that is rightfully ours. And because we have not taken our position and say enough, Goliath will stand his ground and do whatever he wants to do. And Golear represents anything in your life. Your Golear might be your shame, pain of the past, might be the disappointment, might be fear, might be that spirit of intimidation, low self-esteem. That might be your Golear. But we want to see bigger giants. This person is pursuing me. They say this person that is worrying me. Is this witch? Is this that? That's fine. But sometimes your Goliath might just be that you are not able to step out and take a decision. Your inability to decide. That might just be your Goliath. And this is what happened. Anytime we give Goliath a space to rule, Goliath came out for 40 days and 40 nights, intimidating, bullying the armies of God. 40 days and 40 nights. These were trained armies, skilled armies. But a description of Goliath was given clearly. He got all this weapon and armor on. And he was huge. One person for 40 days stood his ground and tormented the children of God. And the armies will go and hide themselves. I don't know what it is that is making you to shrink. Anytime you want to step out to do something, as gifted as you are, as trained as you are, as skillful as you are, anytime you want to come out and do something, you see Goliath and you're like, oh, he's arming this way. Look at what he's wearing. Look at this, look at that. I don't think I'll be able to take over this territory with this Goliath standing. And then you shrink back. And every time you shrink back, insult will continue. Because you're looking at the uncertainty. I don't know how I'm going to survive. I don't know if my English is good enough. I don't know if I have enough money. I don't know if people will like me. I don't know if I'm beautiful. I don't know if I'm gifted. It is not you. It is God that is in you. As long as the armies kept seeing this huge man, they would draw back and then hide themselves. But the little boy came out and said, this is an insult. This insult have to end. And then a little boy came out. A little boy that had that understanding that, listen, it is not me, it is God in me. I am not the maker, I'm not the one at the center of it all. So I am going to go and confront this Goliath in the name of God. If David hadn't come out, the insult would have continued. See, if you refuse to do something about it, if you refuse to confront this Goliath, it's not per se altars or whatever. See, it's just maybe a little thing that you need to confront in order for you to step out and be the best that God has ordained you to be. If you refuse to do that, this thing will continue. Intimidation will continue. Insult will continue. Bully will continue. Crying and hiding will continue. Standing by the roadside and watching others getting by will continue. Bondage will stand if you refuse to be courageous and go in the name of God and say, this thing, you have existed for too long. The time for you to leave is now. Look at what 1 Samuel 17 verse 16 say, the Voice translation. He said, for 40 days, this Philistine giant, Goliath of Gath, stepped forward, challenging the men of Israel every morning and evening, but no one was brave enough to accept his challenge. The Message translation say, each morning and evening for 40 days, Goliath took his stand and made his speech. The ERV say, the Philistine came out every morning and evening and stood before the Israelite army. Goliath insulted Israel like this for 40 days. Ayada. The ISV say, for 40 days, the Philistine would come forward morning and evening to take his position. And another translation say, and this continued for 40 days. If you refuse to step out and challenge this Goliath, whatever this Goliath may even be someone that claims to love you. Goliath may even be a friend that you refuse to step out and say, no, I don't like the way you're talking to me. I don't like the way you're making me feel little. I don't like the way you're bullying me stylishly. And you claim to be a friend. Or you claim to be a lover. It might be. I don't know what your Goliath is, but darling, I'm telling you, the things you refuse to confront have every right to stay. For 40 days, this continued. Maybe it is time for you to say this insult needs to end. Maybe it's time for you to say, I won't settle for this anymore. Maybe it's time for you to say, I don't think God created and shaped me for abuse. That you beat me blue black or you insult the daylight out of me. I don't think this is what God wants for me. Maybe it's time for you to voice out. Silence is the best answer given to fools, but that's the fools. But silence isn't always the answer when you're dealing with giants, baby girl. Talking about fools, but this is a giant that means business. This is a giant that won't budge. If you refuse to come out and say, who is this uncircumcised Philistine? I won't settle for this bully anymore. You're dealing with an expert. This is not a fool. You are dealing with something that the enemy have orchestrated and fired to work against you. It might be shame. It might be just the spirit of shame. You're saying silence is the best answer. Silence is not the best answer when you're dealing with a giant. This is a calculated act that has been pushed against you. And you must push back and say, this insult needs to end. I won't take this anymore. I won't settle for this anymore. Your voice needs to come out. And you must come out of your hiding and step out in the name of God and say, you know what, I'm going to decide that this day, this 2021, this insult end. I'm going to take my life back. I'm going to stand my ground in order for me to be the person that God has ordained me to be. Sometimes you need to speak, girl, and tell that giant, your season is over. It is time for me to do me. You don't let nobody fool you. Tell you otherwise or make you feel otherwise. Don't let nobody talk you out of your spot. Don't let nobody make you feel worthless, darling. Don't let nobody push you into hiding. You are a queen. You are a king. And your father is the monarch of the universe. Many he boss. Go and bring down that Goliath. Your season and the time for you to fly and soar like an eagle. It is now. No more shame. No more guilt. No more feeling little. No more hiding. No more feeling abandoned and rejected. You are the king's daughter. You are the king's son. Get out there and do you. I love you. You're very, very only you before Christ. Bye. Shalom. Bye.